اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
عجل فرجهم. Doesn't like me. There you go. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, فَتَرَى الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِم مَرَضٌ يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ يقولون نخشى أن تصيبنا دائرة فعسى الله أن يأتي بالفتح أو أمر من عنده فيصبحوا على ما أسروا في أنفسهم نادمين. It said, and you see those, meaning the hypocrites, you see those whose heart is sick, rushing toward them, toward the ally, the hypocrites, meaning their heart is closed, meaning spiritually their heart is sick. They rush to be with the wrongdoers, because they say we are fearful, that's what the ayah say, that we are fearful that misfortune may strike us. They're always worried about their livelihood, about their worldly life. So they're fearful that misfortune will strike them. So though they say that, so we ally ourselves with them, just in case. But they should know that perhaps Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings them a victory. They're worried, they're afraid. They're not considering that Allah may bring victory. They're just worried about what would happen. What if they lose the battle? What would happen? They would have lost on all things, not thinking that Allah may do something, make them victorious. That's what the ayah is talking about. Or commanding for himself to improve the condition of the believers. Allah continued in the ayah, said, will improve the condition of the believers. Therefore, they will be remorseful concerning that which they were concealing in their heart. This ayah and other ayat, a lot of time Allah talks about those munafiqeen during those days, that they appear to be mu'mineen, appear to be on the right path, appear to be with the Prophet and with the Imams, yet in their heart they're different. Like when some other ayat will talk about how they'll tell the wrongdoers people, the kafir or the mushrikeen or those, they'll let them know, you know what, we're appearing to be mu'mineen with them, with Muhammad and his people, but we're with you. They're afraid. Their concern is, what if the Prophet and the Muslim lose the war? What if the Prophet and Muslim lose that battle, or they don't succeed? They're worried about what would happen to them. That's all they're thinking about. Allah is reminding them, letting them know, Allah could give victory to those mu'mineen. Allah could make, even though they might be few, but Allah will give them victory. This ayat shows us what's going on these days around the world. But notice the words of Allah with these things. It says, notice the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about those who are allied with the people of falsehood. Allah here says, fatara. And the word in the ayah it says, fatara. Meaning, Allah's letting us know, if we focus on sometimes word by word of the ayah, I could read the ayah and understand it, that, yeah, you're going to see that, so and so and so. But fatara meaning, you will see, that's what it means. But here, if you look at it, it says fatara meaning, or in another way, they're going to be so clear. These people are going to be so clear to everybody. You cannot be confused about them. That's what Allah is trying to tell us in the ayah. We're not going to be confused about who's on the right side and who's on the wrong side. As we know, the Prophet and the Imam as well, sallallahu alayhi wa jami'an, in one of the days said that there will be a time people will be confused between haqq and batil, between right and wrong. People are going to be so confused with that. They asked him that, how do we know, O Rasulullah, how do we know in that time who is on right, who's with the haqq? He said, look at the arrow of the enemy where it's pointing, you know who are the people on the right side. So meaning the enemy is clear, meaning the enemy is, you cannot not know this is the enemy. You cannot not know this is the wrongdoer. You cannot not know these are people on, not on the haq, not on the right path. It's be so clear. That's what the hadith of Rasulullah saying. Look at the arrows of the enemy where it's pointing. You know, those are the people of the haq. Those are the people of the truth. So the enemy would be clear on those days. Rasulullah was saying. Here the ayah said fatara. The word fatara, meaning they're going to be clear. They're going to be so obvious that this is the enemy. And who are they fighting? That's where you're going to take a stand. You're here or there. You're with what's right or what's wrong. Because the enemy is clear. Enemy of Islam. Because it is fatara. So their alliance has become in front of our eyes. It's so clear. Which we see it these days with the Arab people. I mean Arab countries. When I say Arab, means the countries. The enemy is clear. Look at the enemy's arrow in which direction it points. These are the people of the truth in which there is no doubt. This is, the Prophet said, there is no doubt. Those are the people of the truth. Those are people that's on the right path. Those are people that are good. Those are people that obey Allah and obey Allah's words and obey Allah's wanting, the way Allah wanted things to be. Then it said, يُسَارِعُونَ, then the ayah said, يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ. Usually when I say, if we're going to talk and say, you know, he hurried toward him, he hurried to such and such, he's hurrying home, he's hurrying to work, he's in a hurry to work or so. Here Allah said, يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ, in them. He's in a hurry in them, not toward them, not to them. Because why يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ? Because if you really look at the deep meaning of the ayah, meaning they're one of them. That's the difference. If I'm going to say in Arabic, you know, he's in a hurry, يُسَارِعُونَ, I'll say يُسَارِعُونَ toward him. I'll say I'm in a hurry to go to school. I'm rushing to school. That's what I would say. But I'm not rushing in school, into school. The ayah said, يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ. That word has its indication that they are part of them. They're part of those people that are on untruth. They're on the those are misguided people. Those are, well, not misguided really. Those are the untruth people. Those are the wrong doers. That's what it is. So يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ, not toward them. Why يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ? Because it's not to them, it's because they were with them and they're in them. They're part of them. They're just munafiqeen, they're hypocrites. They're appearing to be mu'mineen, but they're actually part of them. In spirituality, they're with them. That's what they are in spirit. They didn't join the enemy, because they're not saying we're going there. Allah said, يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ, they're part of them. They're going from within them. They're in them. They're part of that. That's what the ayah, if you go word by word, detail about it. So, but they're in them and they're part of them. They hurry to them, to their own, as spirituality, they're munafiqeen. These are the hypocrites of this time. Back then, those were the hypocrites of that time, and these days, those are the hypocrites of this time, which you see all over the place, all over Allah. You have 57, I think it's 57 Muslim countries, supposedly Muslim country. What did they do to people of Gaza? Nothing. What did they do to people of Lebanon and Iraq and Yemen? Nothing. They didn't care. In fact, they ally with Netanyahu and his people. I'm not talking politics, I'm talking religion here. They ally with Netanyahu's people. Supposedly they want to make a peace. What kind of make a peace that kills people? You know, yesterday or the night before, I think, with all the situation that's going on around the area over there, in Lebanon in particular, people fled the bombing, the areas that are being bombed, went to an area where it's safe, in the heart of the capital, where we can say Shias are minority there, so that area shouldn't be bombed, because it's majority Sunni. Israel usually would not want to bomb it, because they're after the Shia. They ran there, they ran to a beach area. Right on the beach area, Israel threw bombs at the beach area, knowing those are the people that fled the bombing. and killed so far 18, I think, dead, and whatever, how many injured. So what do the Arab country and the Muslim country do? They still say we're calling for peace. No, we should, people are resisting. Those are the wrong people. Those are people on the wrong. People that are resisting occupation. People are resisting all of that. Israel flat out say, I'm going to take South Lebanon all the way, maybe even Lebanon part of the greater Israel. So, but the reason I'm bringing that to this, because Quran tells us about all that. Quran tells us about the hypocrites on which side they're going to be. And Quran tells us there will be the time where they'll be very clear who are the enemy, and they align with them. You can see, you can tell these are the hypocrites because they're aligning with the enemy. And we see it these days. And that was the case also. Things were happening during Rasulullah days. But at the time they were hiding under the Iman, saying they're faithful, they're with the mu'mineen, they're with the Muslim side. When you see them hasting in falsehood and allying with it, I can tell you that most of the Arab country and most of the Muslim countries these days, to keep your hope for conquest, and they will be defeated. That's what Allah say. Remember, fi'atun qalila تغلب فئة كثيرة. Sometimes few men will defeat a lot. During Rasulullah would say, if there is 10 of you, can defeat 100. If there is 20 of you will defeat 200. Ratio is 10 to 1. That's Allah's given you that power. Allah will send the angels to you. Allah give you different power to resist with it. And the meaning of the ayah, don't be sad. No sadness, no sorrow. Never let them make you feel down. Never let them put you down. Never feel like, oh, we're outnumbered, we're outpowered, we're out this, we're out that. No. Allah, as long as we have faith in Allah and we believe in Allah and the way the Quran, the way the hadith of Rasulullah and the Imam alayhi salam, all of those hadiths, all of that will tell us, in the end, Allah will be on our side. In the end, Allah is with us. Allah prepare things to get to a point, then Allah will intervene. Will flip things over, just like what happened in Badr and other battles during Rasulullah days. Because these are the divine laws of Allah. We can't put time on it. We can't say, because like last week we spoke and say, Mata Nasrullah. People would ask, Mata Nasrullah. We say Nasrullah Kharib. Allah's aid is coming, but timing, Allah knows the timing. Allah has a reason why He times it certain way. Sometimes we feel, and you feel like we're just being attacked, which we see these days. Netanyahu, about a week ago, he said first he wants to take out he called them the extremist Shia. He say, first we need to eradicate extreme Shia, and then we eradicate extreme Sunni. But he doesn't attack ISIS. ISIS is part of them. They work for them. He doesn't do that. With all the incidents happening, yesterday he said, we need to eradicate Islam, period. Shia and Sunni. Yesterday is flat out, he said, Shia and Sunni, we need to eradicate them. Those are danger for world peace. That's what he calls it. So this is a major, you're going to see major offense on Muslims coming up. The criteria that determine victory or defeat in battlefield, in fighting and resisting, are not how many and how few the groups are, but willpower, determination to win, faith in Allah, Iman, that's what I mean. Faith in Allah and endure trouble, sabr ala al-bala, enduring trouble, and the patient. If you see in Islam, it always talks about patience. So you're going to see a lot of attack on Muslims coming up soon, like a lot of, in the media, I'm saying media. You might say incident, but mainly in the media, you're going to see a huge, I'd say an attack. Just to attack, to demonize Islam, to demonize the religion by itself. That's where our role comes in. The way we live our life, the way we show our life to our neighbor, to our co-workers, to our people that know Muslim, we show how we are, who we are. If you notice, things of the public opinion changing. Why? Because people like us around work, around school, around your neighborhood. People see, they say, no, whatever I hear about Islam on CNN or Fox News, that's not Islam. They see us and they say, that's the Islam that I see. I have friends that tell me that, and they say, you know, you're a different Islam than what we see, or different Muslim, or you're a good Muslim. I say, no, Islam is good, Muslims are good, but what you see on TV is different. So it's our behavior that shows people how Islam is. So when we behave in the right way, we're letting people, this is Islam. When we don't behave right, when we do wrong things, people assume, they base that on our religion. They say, oh, look at the Muslim. Just like Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam said, كُونُوا لَنَا عَوْنًا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. And said, كُونُوا لَنَا عَوْنًا وَلَا تَكُونُوا لَنَا شَيْنًا. Basically, don't make us look bad. Don't make us look like we're bad. He's saying if one of the Shia does something wrong, they'll say, these are the people of Ja'far. These are people of Ja'far as-Sadiq, look how they are. But if they do good, they say, oh, look at the people of Ja'far as-Sadiq, how they are. That's the difference, how we behave. So this is the ayah, this is meaning when you read Quran, apply it to our life, apply it to what we're going on through these days. Even if you read that ayah 1,000 times before, I promise you, you'll see new meaning in it. You'll see a whole different side of the ayah also. If you don't, like I said, you know, this one word in here that, you know, how they are in them, they're not going toward them, they're part of them. This word makes a big difference. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. During Ramadan, I mean, all the time we remember Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, but especially during Ramadan, how he would, you know, he's always focused on the poor, on the needy, on the orphans. Especially in Ramadan, usually all Muslims would run around to take care of orphans or people are in need, you know, masakin or abna sabil, the people that are in need. We always rush toward that. In this one story, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, he talks about the serving one's family, how a person serves his own family. This relates to having, like, you know, a father or a mother, how they take care of their family, or what they do to the family and how things run. Always would keep, as Amir al-Mu'mineen shows his leadership, how he is with his leadership to the ummah and how he is with his household and what he does. So Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, one day he was carrying dates in his cloak. He's holding it to have a date in it. About serving it, taking it to his family, taking it to the house basically. So Salih, a person named Salih, he used to sell clothing at the time, shirts or so. His name is Salih. He said one day, he said, I found Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, Ali ibn Abi Talib, with dates he was carrying in his cloak. He's holding it with his cloak, you know, the cloak that the sheikh wear, or they carry it. So he was carrying the dates in that. He said, I told him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, let me take those dates and carry them for you to your house. He said, this is Imam Ali alayhi salam, let me do something, you know, serve him, let me do something good. Let me carry it and take it home to him. Let me carry this, let me take these dates, let me carry them home to you. Imam Ali alayhi salam said, the one with a family has a greater right to carry them, has the haqq to carry them. Imam Ali is saying, as a father of the house, as I'm responsible for the house, I have the haqq to carry those dates. It's my right to take them to the house, even though you want to help, but it's my right. Meaning, because there's so much good reward earned when you do that as head of a household, as a father or as a mother. When you do that, there's so much reward from that, helping your family, serving your family, taking care of your family. Amir al-Mu'mineen wants to earn that. With all that, he wants to earn it. He said, that's haqq for me as a father, as a head of household, to carry those. Let me do it. I have a greater right to it. Not that have someone carry it for him. He said, إن صاحب العيال أولى بأن يحمل رزق أهله بنفسه. Meaning that the head of the household is more entitled to carry his family provisions himself. He's more entitled. So he did not, this person Salih, he said that Imam Ali alayhi salam, he did not give me the dates, but carried them himself until he reached his house. Then Imam alayhi salam entered his house, placed the dates in the house for the family. It's time for a prayer. He put the dates in the house for the family, and then came out afterward carrying the same clock, same one that he has on. He's carrying it and still have some of the layers of the date on it, still have some of the layers of the date hanging onto the cloak, which still have that in the cloak, and head out to go to Salat al-Jum'ah. So he headed to the masjid to lead the people in Friday prayer. This is where you see the humility of Imam Ali alayhi salam. He is the commander. He is, Amir al-Mu'mineen. He's on top of the sword. He is not having, aides and maids and driver like these days and all of that. No, he took the dates himself to the house, even though still have all of that. They didn't change that. They didn't have other clothes to wear, just wore the same one. Picked it up, went to Friday prayer to lead all of that ummah, all of those people that were at the time there, to lead them into prayer. But he took the date to his house first. That's the humility. Amir al-Mu'mineen, despite being the Khalifa of the Muslim, would perform simple tasks himself, such as carrying food to his home, and he saw no deficiency or embarrassment in that. He doesn't see it as something that's, like these days. The king of Saudi Arabia, they call him Khadim al-Haramain, the servant of the two haram, Khadim al-Haramain. I don't know how many number of cars, how many cars pleated with gold, the drivers, the chefs, the maids, all of that. That guy, they call him Khadim al-Haramain. I met a Filipino person 15 years ago, maybe, or maybe a little bit more. He heard me talking Arabic to somebody, and he said, "Oh, are you Muslim?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, I did convert when I was in Saudi Arabia." I said, "Oh, so you're a Muslim?" He goes, No, I'm not. When I was there, I worked as a chef, as a cook at the King Abdullah, I think. He worked at King Abdullah's house when he was a Prince Abdullah. He worked at his house. He said they hired chefs, they hired cooks. I worked there as a cook, but the only way I can work there if I'm a Muslim. So they asked me to convert. I read 2 Shahada. I told them, okay, I converted. Then I was allowed to go work in there. That's Khadim al-Haramain. This guy was making money there, even though I met him here in like around Montclair area. The guy was working at a place. He said until today, he was still getting, at the time, he was still getting $5,000 a day from Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's $5,000 a month, sorry. $5,000 a month from Saudi Arabia. Why? Because he worked for that king at that time, and supposedly he converted to Islam. I asked him, he said, no, I'm not Muslim. I just did the Shahada so I can work there at the palace. And then, of course, he told me other stories I'm not going to mention now, but we went in a long conversation about all that. But I tell you, I just think how many cooks, how many workers out around the world are still making money from that king that doesn't actually help Muslims. How many poor people are in Somalia, in Ethiopia, in Sudan? How many people are hungry in Egypt? People below poverty line, they don't. But the person that came to work with them, they help them, give them $5,000 a month. They still earn, this guy, I'm sure, is still earning till today, just because he worked for them that time. So he's called Khadim al-Haramain. He's the servant of those Haramain, supposedly. I don't know what he served, or what, this guy. So look at that, look at Imam Ali alayhi salam. Imam Ali would deliver the date to his own house, go back and lead a prayer with hundreds and thousands of people. Bearing family responsibility, his saying, the one with a family has a greater right to carry them, indicate that a man is responsible for caring for his family, for caring for his family and serving them. And that serving one's family is not a flaw but a virtue. That's how Imam Ali looks at it, alayhi salam. It's a virtue to serve your family. He could have hired aid. He could have hired people to serve him. Imagine this person, Salih, he was ready just to give him, without hiring him, he just want to help Imam Ali. You know, like if we see a sheikh or alim or so, we run, let me help you a little bit, let me earn some good deeds. This guy just want to do that. And Imam Ali, no, he said, no, I'll take the date to my house myself. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam did not live the life of king or extravagant caliphate. The one that amazed me the most out of all the Arab and Muslim leaders is the king of Jordan. This guy didn't know how to speak Arabic. They put him king on Jordan. He was living in England most of his time, most of his life, because his mom is English. Didn't know nothing about the Arab world. This guy just living with his dad's money. And then when his dad passed away, they brought him, they said, you're the king. Now the guy comes out and you see him with all kind of military awards and whatever, medals and things like that. And he acts like he's, you know, like he's serving Jerusalem, serving Al-Quds, for example. Imam Ali alayhi salam did not live that kind of life. Didn't live the life of person commanding that ummah, that large ummah that happened at the time. When Imam Ali was a Khalifa, he was in charge of about, I think, 3 or 4 continents. The countries that lays over about 3 or 4 continents. He was the leader of all that, Imam Ali, but he still take the date to his house. Look what kind of life he was living. But rather, Imam Ali, he lived an ordinary life. He did not live the life of kings and powerful people. Absolutely nothing like we see the leaders of what we see around the world these days, of Muslims and Arabs. He would be with people. He'd be around the people. He walks around the market. He'll go to the market of the meat to make sure people doing the right thing. Slaughtering the animal the right way, making the weight exactly perfect the way it's supposed to be, to that point. Checking the weight. I read a story about a person in Iran the other day. I read it a couple of months ago. I read it. This guy, he sells products, especially he sells tea, loose tea. When you're buying a kilo, when he's weighing stuff in a scale, this guy, you know how you get the paper bag, you put the kilo in it. This guy, no. This guy, he put a paper bag on the other side of the scale, old style scale paper. He said, I don't want to shorten people even the weight of that paper bag. I don't want to shorten people that. Those are the followers of Imam Ali. Those are the people that follow the teaching of Imam Ali alayhi salam. So balance between leadership and humanity. For he carried food for his family with his own hand, then goes straight out to lead the nation and pray, or for Friday prayer with them. thus combining a great leadership with human humility. That's Imam Ali alayhi salam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahu.